Hello and welcome, I'm Davis, and it's been a year. It's been a very, very interesting year. Right now, it's kind of early in the morning for me. I got up early. I'm also talking fast because I am hyped up on coffee. All I've had is a latte and a little granola bar thing. It's not even early right now. It's like almost 1 o'clock and I haven't had anything and I gotta go to work in a little bit. Anyway, that's besides the point. The point of the video today is I wanted to just take a few moments, and I'm also listening to crazy music right now. But I just wanted to take a moment and just recap and kind of go over the year 2024, because this has been, I think it's safe to say this has been the best year of my life. So I got up early and I wrote down all these things. These are all the games that I played in 2024. And that doesn't even include like all of the little itch games and all of the horror games and everything. These are just like some of the main games. And I played a total of around 34 games this year. Most of those were on YouTube, but some of them weren't even on YouTube. Some of those are games I just played myself. So what I did is I took the time this morning and I basically just compiled all of my videos, all of my like memorable moments of the year, and made a list, a top 10 list for each of these. For the first 10, we're gonna go through my top 10 games that I played this year, and then we're gonna go through the top 10 just moments or things that happened to me in general over this year. So if you want to stick around, I highly recommend it, because I think it's gonna be fun. For number 10, I put Phasmophobia. Now, not because the game was like really like my favorite game or anything, but just that experience, I kind of, in my mind, that was like the golden age of streaming for me, for 2024, because it was just, it felt like just days upon days where me, Carmen, and Dark Magic were just playing the crap out of that game, and it was just so much fun. It was such a fun memory in my head to have that. Number 9, I'm gonna bring in as Still Wakes the Deep. Now, if you were there for that stream, that was our 700 subscriber stream. We're at like 826 now. I've lost quite a few because I haven't been posting lately, but hoping that's gonna change. There might be some really big news coming up soon. For Still Wakes the Deep, that was like my first 5-hour plus stream that I did, and people stuck around. People stuck around for the entire thing, from the beginning to the end. Even when our stream dropped because the game crashed and my computer glitched, it was such a awesome experience to remember, and the game itself was super fun. If you haven't played it, I recommend it, or go watch the VOD. Number 8, we're gonna have Sheepy, the one and only, my bro, Sheepy, right here. But it has a place in my heart because it was the first game ever that I've loved so much that I had to buy an actual real life plushie for. I've bought in real life things for games before, the ones that I love, like I have my Dark Souls ring, the Poise ring. I have my Yorha, Glory to Mankind, Nier Automata necklace. I also have a Nier Automata shirt, a Dark Souls shirt, a Nier Automata well, I got 2 posters, one from the orchestra I went to, and one, that's a spoiler, one of just 2B, because why not? She's the greatest. Oh, I also have all these keycaps that are Nier Automata keycaps. You can probably guess what my top game is going to be. In number 7, we're going to have Sayonara Wild Hearts. This game, I feel like, kind of flew under the radar for a lot of people. It was actually like my 600 subscriber stream, maybe 5. That was such a fun game, and it's a game that I've actually been thinking about returning to soon, because I just want to play it again. It was so much fun. It had such good rhythm to it and just pacing, and it was another one of those short games. It was only like an hour or an hour and a half long or something like that, but it was just like this compact, amazing, just really fun experience. Highly recommend it. Number 6, I have Dishonored. Now, Dishonored I didn't play on my channel, but I just finished it recently. I'm in the process of playing Dishonored 2. As you guys know, if you've watched my channel, you know that some games I keep for myself that are off channel, that are games that I just play because, I gotta, sometimes I like to just sit on the couch in my jammies and play a game. Dishonored was a super, super fun game. It just really hit the spot for the timing and what I was feeling at that time. Really fun game. I could go into the mechanics of it and everything, but I think that really sums it up, is that I was just feeling a type of game, and that one just really, really hit the spot for me. Number 5, I have Viewfinder. Now, Viewfinder, I did play this entire game on my channel. If you haven't watched it, I recommend it. Some of the videos are a little dated the way I used to edit. I think of that game quite often, and every time I do, it is one of my favorite games, I think. The atmosphere is just unmatched. It's like those, you know, those like reels or shorts where it's like, choose what house you could live in for the rest of your life, or you gotta like isolate for a month what house, and it's like that song, it's like, and it goes through. That's that feeling that those posts and those videos give you, where it's just like, oh man, I wish I could live there. Like, that would be so cool. This game is basically that feeling the entire time. Not to mention, the music is absolutely outstanding. It's like this jazzy music, and I listen to it all the time when I'm like editing stuff. Like, that game is a gem. It is a very, very, very fun game. Number 4, another game that I didn't play on my channel, is BioShock Infinite. BioShock Infinite, I think why it holds a place in my heart is, one, it was kind of like Dishonored where it hit a spot, but it was kind of the first like story game that me and my girl actually played together. She sat and watched me play the whole thing over like 2 nights. And that was just a cool experience because she's not really a gamer herself, but I've been kind of slowly getting her into games, easing her in. And I was like, this game, I've heard a lot about it. I've heard it's good. The game was phenomenal. I absolutely freaking loved it, but she really enjoyed it too. And that was just a really fun experience to experience together. So that's why that's in the 4th slot. And number 3, I'm gonna have Portal 2, specifically for the community that was around it. The game was awesome, and it was such an experience to play. And I remember the last episode in the series, the finale, I actually did as a premiere. So we had like a live chat while watching the edited video, and just seeing everyone pile in. I think we had like almost 80 people live that day watching it, and it was an emotional experience. The game was a trip. It took me, you know, days upon days to record everything and edit everything, and just to finally finish the series and send that out, and seeing the reaction of everyone was just, it was such a touching experience. It had me a little misty-eyed, I'll be honest, and I'm someone who never cries. And in second place, for my second favorite game of 2024, I have to give that to Titanfall 2. Hands down, the best first-person shooter campaign I have ever played. I haven't played a ton, but I've played enough to know that this is hands down the best FPS campaign you will ever play. I cannot recommend Titanfall 2 enough if you're into that type of game. It was absolutely amazing, and I had the pleasure to be able to stream the entire thing, despite the internet cutting out many times. It was going through a stage where my internet was not working very well, unfortunately, but everyone was able to come out and watch it, and it was an awesome experience, and the game itself was just absolutely outstanding. So that brings us down to our number 1 game, my number 1 game of 2024. And if you're paying attention, you can probably guess. You can't see here, I'll only show you my screensaver. So that's, as you can see, my screen is 2B. Like I said, I have 2 posters from Nier Automata. I have a necklace, I have shirts. Nier Automata would be, but it's not. I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, what the heck? What has happened to him? I can't put it in as number 1 because technically I finished the game in 2023. Right? I think I finished the game on like December 30th or something like that of last year. So I can't put it in as my top 2024 game. It is my top game overall of ever. So what game is going to be in the number 1 slot? Take your guesses. Put it in the comments. Maybe you might, if you can guess it right, you get a special cookie. I will give you a virtual cookie. So my top game of 2024 that I played, it happened to be on stream. It was the first game that I streamed completely through. And this title is going to go to Dark Souls 2. This game, I think I completed it in like 60 some hours. It was over like 25 live streams, I think. It was an insane experience. I still, there's a few DLC bosses I haven't gotten to yet, so I know I'm not finished with the game, but in my mind, I have completed it enough that I am satisfied with it. I will return to finish it eventually, but that was such an experience because I was very new to live streaming, and it was one of the first, I think it might have been the third stream I ever did, and it was Dark Souls 2, and I was so nervous to be on stream. Nobody was on, and nobody jumped on my streams for Dark Souls until, like, I think the fifth one. I had one person jump in and say, I love Dark Souls 2, and then leave. But then eventually, just slowly, over time, people started coming in and started becoming a regular thing. I take it for granted now how live streaming is just, I always have people on, and I kind of take that for granted, because that is so special that you guys take the time to spend that with me. But it just reminds me when I look back at my old streams of how much of it I was just talking to no one and hoping I'm like, somebody will watch this later. I don't know if anyone really does, but that was such a fun experience. It was a growing time for me to like learn to stream and all that stuff, and play a game while streaming and learning how to do stuff on the fly while live and everything. It was such a learning experience to me, as well as just being an amazing game. And I love Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 1 is one of my favorite games. It's probably my second favorite game. And Dark Souls 2, I don't know, it may match Dark Souls 1. It was different in its own way, but amazing in its unique ways as well. And that is going to hold just such a special place in my heart as well, that I'll never forget the experience of going through that entire game, especially with the community and everything. It was a really, really special experience. Maybe at some point I'll do like a highlights reel of Dark Souls 2, because we had a lot of great experiences. I got hacked by somebody, almost lost my entire save 50 hours in. I had like some of the rarest NPC encounters in the game. I had one of the most rarest like weapons drop on like the first try, like some really, really cool stuff. If you haven't played Dark Souls 2, if you're into Dark Souls, I highly recommend the game. So that completes our top 10 games of 2024. Do you agree? Do you agree with my list? Did I miss some out? I don't know. Let me know. Let me know. Either in Discord or in the comments, preferably, because that's YouTube's gonna like that. But a few honorable mentions I do want to just throw in there is Orcs Must Die 3. That was a super fun game. Me and Dark Magic streamed the heck out of that game, and it was a really fun time, just like for like nonsensical just action. Journey, we just got done playing Journey recently on a stream. Beautiful game, highly recommend that. Half-Life, I couldn't put Half-Life on the list because I haven't actually completed it. Like, there's still a few chapters left, I think, that I have to do. I don't actually know. Maybe it'll be on the 2025 list. And then the other honorable mention would be Hellblade. I know it's been a long time since I posted one of the videos. Those just took a lot of time and effort to make. But I do want to get back to playing that game, because genuinely, I know YouTube didn't really promote that one a whole lot. But personally, that was a game that I personally really just enjoyed. Now, moving on to the top 10 moments of 2024 for me, whether these be personal moments, actual like situations, or whatever. We're just gonna go through these really quick, and just taking the time to kind of reflect on the year and everything that's happened, because like I said, this year's been full, and it's been pretty awesome. Number 10, this isn't exactly a good memory, but I threw it in there because it's a memorable memory. Number 10 is I broke my wrist. I broke my wrist like January 3rd or something like that. It was like only like my third time out skiing, snowboarding. I snowboard, and I did a 180 off of this rail, and I don't know, I've done the trick 1,000 times, and I was fine. I caught a back edge, and I fell on my wrist, but my watch got stuck on the joint, and so my wrist wasn't able to bend, and it just went and just broke it. Number 9, this is kind of a sweet and sour one, is I lost my job that I had for like 7 years. I was let go for uncontrolled circumstances. It wasn't the best situation. In the end, it was a blessing in disguise, because where I wasn't an entirely the healthiest environment for me, but I was able to land a job in numerous ways just so much better than my past job, and it fits for my schedule. It's close by, and it's just better all around, and it has been such a blessing to feel like I've made that next step up in my life and just, you know, achieving more. And it's been very cool. And what I do now is I'm a waiter, but mainly a bartender, and neither of which I have ever done in my life, so I had to learn on the job, and I genuinely really love it. It's super fun being a bartender. Number 8, I got to see Love live. Specifically why this was such a cool experience for me was because we looked up tickets to her, because we like to go to concerts. We've gone to quite a few, but her tickets were very, very expensive, a little too much for us to afford. But thankfully, close by, there was a jazz fest going on that was like $40 a person, and she was going to be one of the artists, and we basically got a mini concert with her there, and it was super, super cool. If you don't know Love's music, she kind of blew up recently. She's a very talented artist. She plays like jazz and blues music. I highly recommend check her out. Number 7, I posted at the beginning of the year my water video, and I feel like a lot of people probably haven't seen that video. I'm very proud of it. It's probably one of my best creations I've done. Despite its issues, there was frame sampling issues, and it's kind of hard to go back and look at it now because it's really bad. The frame rate sampling and the size of the videos was skewed in the rendering, and I posted it before checking. So there's definitely some issues with it, but it's still, when it comes to editing and how much I traveled to make that video and how long I worked on it and traveled all around, you know, the region for it, it was a very fun experience, and it goes down as one of my most proud videos I've made. Number 6, I started live streaming. My first video I did of live streaming was Pseudo Regalia. I didn't finish the game because I was so stressed about live streaming. But big shout out to Mad World. If you know, if you've been on the Discord, we just partnered our Discords recently. Super chill dude. He's really fun to watch his streams. Does a lot of Call of Duty streams. When I broke my wrist and I wasn't able to play Call of Duty, I was watching him, and he kind of gave me the courage to be like, I want to start live streaming, because he was doing it. And so big shout out to him. Number 5 of my top 10 moments of 2024 is my Portal 1 videos. They started out the first 2 or 3 days with 6 views, my worst performing videos I've ever posted. And then after that, completely exploded. Went from basically 0 to almost 8,000 views on a video in like a day. I never thought it was going to be those videos that would take me from nothing to what I have now. I will never forget that. It was crazy. Every time I refreshed my computer, I would have another 20 to 30 subscribers, and it was an insane experience going from somebody who, you know, had nobody really subscribed except my alternate accounts and my family's. So going from nothing to having that, and was just an unforgettable experience. And even going back now, it's kind of cringy looking at all of my responses to the comments, because I was just freaking out that people were actually commenting on my videos and wanted to talk to me. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, I had never had people comment other than a few bots here and there, and I'm like, I don't know how to handle this. Like, it was such an amazing experience, and Portal is what started me into meeting all of you and making this so now I can actually make this video and people watch it. It's really, really crazy. Number 4 on this list. We're getting close to the bottom now. Number 4 is my girl started riding bikes with me. It's everyone knows, I think everyone knows at this point how obsessed I am with motorcycles. And she got her license, and she has been riding my 400, and I taught her. She took the class on how to learn, but I've been teaching her too, and she likes it. It gives us something that we can do together. Yeah, it was a cool moment this year. And now for the top 3 moments. We're getting down to the big ones. Number 3, I actually made some IRL friends. If you know me and you've been watching my streams and videos, I'm not very much of a social person. I never really had friends growing up. This year was a bit of a whirlwind of emotions and stuff. So I made some real friends. I was able to meet some really, really cool people, and I have some people now that love riding motorcycles almost as much as me. I don't know if there's anybody that loves it quite as me. And I've met people who now love video games more than me, I would say. And you know who you are. Dark Magic, Maxine, Maki. I've met some really, really cool people, and some people out there that I can genuinely say are my friends. And it is, I've never had that. It's a little interesting. I don't always know how to navigate it because I wasn't someone that grew up with friends. I grew up very alone, and so it's a learning experience, but it's super cool. Number 2 is, and this kind of goes hand in hand with what number 3 is, I guess, in a way, is I created a community. I never thought that this would ever happen. All I did was post videos. You guys created the community. But all of you out there, the people on Discord talking every day, like I said, the legitimate friends that I've met through this, that we talk about things, we share experiences, we share games, we talk and it's just, it really does go hand in hand with the last point of it. Just, I've met people. It's crazy. I've talked with people all over the world. The Discord that we've created with, you know, people in it every day, a private Minecraft server, people playing on it all the time. I jump on a stream. When I stream, people are on it. Like, it's crazy going from somebody who didn't ever have people that was, you know, interested in this stuff to people who care. And it's crazy. Yeah. I don't really know what to say except thank you, because you guys have done all this for me. You've done all of this. Now I feel like those probably should have been in the number 1 slot, and I feel like they are for the time that I've given them. But I would be lying if I didn't put number 1 as I did number 1. Number 1, the top moment of 2024 for me, and I don't think this will come as a surprise to anyone, is I got my ZX6R, my motorcycle. It started off as I wanted a 600, I wanted a bigger bike, and I got this bike that I thought was great. Turned out it had a lot of issues. But through the year, I have been able to build it, work on it, fix it, and craft it into my dream bike. I didn't think I would get my dream bike this early in life, but I have it, and could not be happier with it. The pure joy I get from it when I go riding on the mountains is just, it really is unmatched for me. It's something where I can escape my stress and issues, and I can just go out on the road, be in my helmet, be in this own world, just zone in to what I'm doing of the sport of riding. And very, very few things, if anything, has ever really given me pure joy the way riding bikes does. And despite issues, I mean, breaking down 3 hours from home, losing my chain, having the battery die on me, all these issues that I've had, nothing's ever tainted my spirit when it comes to motorcycles, and that's just how I know I genuinely love it. Well, those are my top 10 moments of 2024. A few honorable mentions I just want to throw out there so you guys have a little bit more lore on my life is, like I mentioned, I like to go to a lot of concerts. So Harper is one of my favorite artists that I listen to when I'm riding my motorcycle. He's not my favorite. Gorillaz is my top favorite and always will be. But I went to a Harper concert. It was my first rave I've ever been to. It was like this really tight bar, and there was like quite a lot of people, and it was insane. It was really fun. I got to go to a Mother concert, if you don't know them. Awesome band, one of my top bands I listened to this year. I also got to go to the Nier Automata concert, which is the actual orchestra that made the music for the game, my favorite game. And they had the actual singers there and everything. A bunch of people cosplaying. I got to see 2Bs everywhere. It was so cool. And then I also got to get somebody else, one of my friends, into Nier Automata. One of my friends I met through YouTube, she has gotten obsessed with Nier Automata almost as much as me, and the disease is spreading. I'm spreading the obsession, and I'm not sorry about it. Lastly, this isn't an honorable mention as much as it's a dishonorable mention, but apparently people think my hair is red. Come here, a little closer. My hair is not red. Does this look red to you? Don't answer it true. Answer it the way I want it. This hair is not red. Sheepy, do you think my hair is red? Sheepy says my hair is. Thank you, everyone, for watching the video. I really appreciate it, and it really means a lot to me. This is just one of my things I love doing. I love making videos, love playing games, and I just love connecting with people. And I hope this was interesting. I hope this was interesting to some of you. You get to kind of recap on the year, see what kind of we've gone through, and just kind of relive some of the moments. Or if you're just coming in now, you get to see kind of what you missed and maybe what you can expect in the future. You know, you can get along, join the train, and be part of the next years that are to come.